People are struggling and looking for answers. God has given you the solution and has called you to leadership. Now it's time to grow and prepare while learning how to use your gifts. Jamal is an experienced leader that uses his gifts to lead change. Now he's sharing what he's learned with you, so you can fulfill your leadership assignment. Prepare to be ignited, to lead like a champion. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Igniting Champion Leaders live broadcast. My name is Jamal Maxsam, Igniter of Champion Leaders, CEO of Lead Like a Champion. And my assignment is to ignite you to lead and operate in your gifts as a leader so you can fulfill your assignment in your sphere of influence. Now, today is a very special day. I got two of my Kingdom brothers in the house. I have Coach Dominique Edmond, your Kingdom book writing coach, CEO of Empower Word Publishing. I hope I pronounced that right. And my brother, Pastor Paul, your next level mindset coach. And so I'm going to give them opportunity to introduce themselves, and then we're going to get into the discussion, because today we are talking about the Leaders CPA, which is commitment, positioning, or posture and alignment. Commitment, posture, and alignment. So first, we'll just start in my screen order. Pastor Paul, you're next. So go ahead and unmute yourself and just say hi to the people.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thank you so much, Pastor Jamal, for this opportunity. I am Paul Ybarra, and I am your next level mindset coach. And what I do is I empower kingdom-minded leaders like yourself to activate your assignment, discover your purpose, so that you can do life, business, and ministries God's way. And I do it three different ways. I do it by coaching, teaching, and helping you build networks so that you can stay accountable, so you can continue to keep building the kingdom of God. And so with that, I will yield the mic.
All right. So Coach Dominique, go ahead and introduce yourselves to those who might not know you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Pastor Jamal. Dominique Edmond here, owner and founder of Empowered Publishing Worldwide, or EPW for short. And I empower coaches, consultants, influencers, and speakers to be able to strategically write and publish their books in 90 days. So that way they can show up in the marketplace as the authorities that they are. I enjoy what I do, and I'm very excited about the conversation that we're about to get into tonight. So I'm going to yield it back over to you, Pastor Jamal.
All right. Thank you so much. And so what prompted this conversation, and I want to say hello to the people on Clubhouse. Everybody who's listening, you're watching. I know we're streaming on multiple formats: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Clubhouse, Twitter. We'll get the replay, jamalmaxsam.org, on my live stream page, wherever you're watching. What's up? We're so glad you're here. But this started from the conference. You know, a couple of weeks ago, we were all part of a conference because we are a part of this community called the Good Morning Kingdom Coaches show that we're a part of. And, you know, the founder, Kelly, is on Clubhouse listening. What's up, Coach Kelly? And so Coach Dom, you were a part of the team that really planned that event. And it was extremely well planned, extremely well executed. But in that event, I noticed a particular theme throughout. God, you know, because God always speaks in themes. And it seems like he takes each person's revelation or message and he puts them together to have a total conversation. And that's what I saw happening both days. And so one of the things I recognized is, as Coach Paul, you talked about 3 C's. You talked about, say those 3 C's again that you talked about.
Well, 3 of the 5 that I was talking about was commitment, consistency, and clarity, and being able to complete those things the way that God would have you to complete them.
Right. So you talked about commitment, consistency, and clarity. And one of the things that stuck out of the 5 C's that you often teach on was the commitment. And then Coach Dom, you talked about posture. And then what was the other 3 P's? Because you had some P's.
So there was position, postured, and planted.
Yes. Because you said we had to be in position, had the right posture so we can be planted. Now, as I started listening to both of you, I started thinking about when I talk about being in alignment with our assignments and how we have to be committed. We have to have the right posture. We need to be planted in order to fully be in alignment. Of course, that day I talked about operating in the supernatural and how to be established in it. And so what I really want us to talk about is as a leader, because if you're a business owner, if you're writing a book or whatever you're doing, you're a person of influence. So that makes you a leader. I define leadership as influencing people to accomplish the vision, because there's a difference between an influencer and a leader, which is key to know, because a lot of people follow influencers and expect them to be leaders when that's not what they're trying to do. They're just trying to get you to like their product, like their lifestyle, or order something from, whatever company. A leader is going to lead you to fulfill vision and help you develop your skill set and really step into your God-given identity. And so in order for a leader to do that, they have to be committed and they have to have the right posture. So Pastor Paul, talk about this commitment piece in relation to the mindset of someone who's influencing someone else to really grow and develop. What does that commitment look like?
Man,
and why do we need it?
Yeah, commitment is one of the strongest things that I believe we would need to even carry out the vision, right? Because commitment also relies on your obedience. So when we as kingdom dwellers, as people, as faith driven people, when we're hearing God speak to us to do something, the obedience factor also takes the commitment piece, because just as much as God is committed to us, we have to be totally committed to God 100%, 100%.
Wait.
Like,
Pause right there. Say that. You can't just slide by that saying that. You got to say that one more time. Just as much as God is committed to us. Say that one more time.
just as much as God is committed to us, we've got to be committed to God. Because
Yes.
in that place, that's where all your systems, all your foundation, everything. And I believe that I could speak to that thoroughly, because I used to be so uncommitted. It was always fly by the seat of my pants. Why aren't things working? Well, you ain't committed. Like you're just not committed. So commitment for me is the base foundation of the rest of the C's. Because if you're
Wow.
not committed, you can't be consistent. You can't get clarity. You won't have confidence, and you won't have completion. So that commitment piece, you've got to be committed.
Now, what does that look like in terms of what does commitment to God look like, as a leader? Because how does that play out? Describe to us how that plays out. Because a lot of people would say, I am committed to God because I love Jesus. I'm not doing anything wrong to people. I'm not cussing nobody out today, or whatever the case may be. But what does that really look like in practicality? Because some people I would say this, there are different levels of commitment. And some people think you can build or lead $1 billion organization at a $30,000 a year commitment, which is not true. There's a greater level of commitment and discipline that's needed as you walk in these higher realms and levels of leadership. So, Pastor Paul, tell us, what does that look like in reality?
The reality piece is that your commitment level has to be involved with the good, the bad, and the ugly. No matter what it looks like, you've got to be committed. It's like doing these like crazy challenges where people are going through the mud and they're going under ropes and all of that. You got to be committed just as much to the trophy as you are to the mud, because
Ooh, come on.
every bit of it Every benefit takes place in order for you to get that goal-driven result. And so too many times, because we have the mindset of just the $30,000 business owner, they're not ready to commit to the billion-dollar business owner because they're too many times afraid of the responsibility that they have to take on. Too many times we see, because of what I have to become to receive that, I'm
Yes.
good right here. And so just one more little piece, especially in the whole ministry world. When we used to run ministry, all of our volunteers filled out an application.
Yes, absolutely.
You are committed just like you're getting paid. If not, I don't need volunteers. I need servants and I need leaders. That's what I'm
Yes.
looking for, because anyone can volunteer. But at the same time, you've got to be committed to the whole entire process, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Come on. And I'm going to just speak to that before I go to you, Coach Dom, because that is so true. Because, for those who don't know, I don't know if I've ever said this on this live, but I serve as an executive pastor, which is why you hear people call me Pastor Jamal. And that's the thing that's real, because a lot of times when you're leading a faith-based organization or a nonprofit in general, you get you get people who volunteer, but then they want to just do half, they want to half do it and be like, well, you should just be happy the fact that I'm doing something because I'm not getting paid. It doesn't matter whether you're getting compensation or not should not impact the quality of what you do. Because if your quality increases with pay, that means you are a hireling and not a servant. And when you're talking about church leadership, we don't want hirelings. We want people who have bought into the vision, bought into the leadership, and are okay with whether they get, and the pay is just a bonus. Because some folks try to make a calling, they have this career mindset in terms of a calling instead of a calling mindset for their career. And so, yeah. So pastors, y'all need to get at me, because don't deal with the foolishness. I'm just saying. Coach Dom, go ahead and jump in here now. Talk about the posture, because in order to be commitment, that's rooted in a heart posture that we have to have, and I don't want to say your stuff, so just go on and jump on and talk to us about this posture we have.
Absolutely, Pastor Jamal. So when I look at even the commitment level, like what Pastor Paul was just talking about, and that's such a key piece to what we do, just as he was saying, anything that we're going to be involved in, we need to make sure that we are fully committed, that we're all in. That's the only way you're going to yield the results. Otherwise, so many people turn up disappointed at the end, and they look up and they say, wow, I never made the $1 million, or I never did this, or I didn't make money from that program, or that coach didn't do this, or whatever the case is. And a lot of times it'll go right back to whether or not that person was truly committed from the beginning. So the commitment is so important. And I love what you said as well, Pastor Jamal, about the 30,000 a year mindset. So if you're trying to, a lot of people talk about, I'm going to be a millionaire. I have $1 million business, or even believers in the church, they say, well, God called me to $1 million. Well, he can't call you to $1 million if the mindset is not there. If you're still thinking like a $30,000 a year employee, then you won't be $1 million a year business owner or leader. Totally different mindset, completely different individuals. And so we make sure that we touch on that. But man, when it comes to the posture, so I look at it from two different ways, Pastor Jamal. I'm going to try and explain this as best as I can in the time that we have today. So first of all, we could definitely look at it from the spiritual aspect, right? And so when we talk about our heart posture, we need to make sure that spiritually speaking, we're checking our hearts. We need to check our agenda. It can't be that fake and phony, just lip service. Lip service is what I want to call it. Because a lot of times people say what they know they're supposed to say, but their heart, the posture of their heart is not correct. When we talk about the word posture, we're talking about the ability for you to position your body in such a way that it can stand up straight, that it can be strong. And so a lot of times in what I find with even with believers, Pastor Jamal, is that their posture when it comes to their business, it's not standing up straight and tall. Their posture is bent over, and they're compromising in this area and in that area, and they're willing to do this thing or allow this other thing in, and it begins to taint and mix what God has placed in their hearts. And we know that that kind of a situation can't prosper, it can't succeed. So we know, spiritually speaking, our posture has to be strong. It has to be upright. It has to be steady and really firm. Then from a more natural aspect, if you will, when I think about the term posture, I think about the show up, the way that you show up, the way people perceive you, the way that you present yourself to others, the way that you present yourself. A lot of times I find business owners, their posture is just so off. I heard somebody say this, you probably heard it as well. How you do anything is how you do everything.
Yes.
And so they'll go into one space and they have this slouching over, sloppy posture, but they're looking for opportunities where the posture is supposed to be royalty. But the
Come on.
reason why they're not getting those opportunities is because the people in the audience who was looking for people with royalty type posture, they didn't see it from that individual. Instead, what they got was the sloppy, slouching over person that day, because they took that small opportunity for granted. And so when we look at our natural posture, we need to make sure that we're constantly showing up the way we're supposed to show up, and we're being everything that we're supposed to be, and not giving things, not just haphazardly doing things and expecting people to give us bigger opportunities. So those are kind of my two aspects on the posture piece. Back over to you, Pastor Jamal.
Man, that was so good. I'm sitting here trying to take notes and got my hands all funny on the screen. Because here's the thing two of the things that you just said. You talked about the spiritual posture and about what I would call an unholy mixing, where we want to do business God's way and because we love Jesus, but then allow ourselves to do business like the world in some areas. And we've all seen Christian business owners do that. And to me, that's not kingdom, because business school teaches you how to do business the world's way. And then you have to allow God to teach you how to take those same business principles and figure out which ones align with the kingdom and determine which ones align with the kingdom and which ones don't. And so it can't be that unholy mixing of, I love Jesus, you should do this for me because you love Jesus. But then at the same time, I'm trying to take advantage of you because that's how business is. That's not kingdom. And that's the wrong posture. And a lot of people want their businesses to be blessed and to exceed the just enough type of blessing, but can't really get that because they're out of alignment. Because there will be a degree of success simply because they're a believer. But when you're talking about walking in overflow and walking in the more and walking in the covenant blessing of being a kingdom business owner or a kingdom leader, that comes from having that right spiritual posture. But then you said physically, because here's the thing that you said that made me think of something. And because I try to posture myself is that everything about me should reflect the glory of God, even down to how my grass looks. And, you know, my wife, Dr. Val, would say I'm a little anal when it comes to the grass, because I say something when folks be trying to walk and cut through my yard. I'd be like, look, bro, get off that grass. You know, and I'm very picky on who cut it. Be like, no, they cut it too low. They didn't trim it right. Because when people drive by my house and people know that I am kingdom, they should see, man, even the way this yard is manicured reflects the glory of God. And so you're talking about the physical show up. If we are not conscious of who we represent and the status we have in our representation of God as a kingdom leader, then what happened is that improper physical posture, like you said, we'll slouch, not dress the part, we'll take opportunities for granted, and we'll think, oh, that's just whatever. And not knowing that we may miss an opportunity because the wrong posture may cause us to despise something that's small that really could be the door opener for the large place. So I really love what you said about that And I'm gonna just touch on alignment real quick before we end the video portion, and then we're going to talk to the VIP and clubhouses. So if you are watching this on any of the other platforms, you want to get into the Clubhouse app and go into the Igniting Champion Leaders Club. Now, if you're on my mailing list, you already got the direct link to the room in order to listen on the web. But if you're not on my mailing list, just go on the Clubhouse app and search for it, and you'll be privy to this VIP portion of the conversation. But here's the thing about alignment, because we have to be committed to the vision and to the assignment. And then we have to have the right heart and physical posture, meaning how we show up physically as well as virtually. And then that helps us stay in alignment. Alignment is when things are right in step and smooth with the assignment we have and the assignment giver. Too many times people want to be in alignment with God, but don't recognize that they need to be in alignment with what God is saying in terms of the assignment. And so we have to stay in alignment. Now, here's the thing. Here, I'm going to give you a couple of things on how I believe you can stay in alignment as a leader. Number one, the best way to be in alignment as a leader is to be led and not driven. Too many leaders are driven by circumstance or by opinion and even by facts and data. I understand the whole concept of informed decision. You know, I came from the school background where they would say make decisions based upon data-based decision making. Well, that's good to look at data. It's good to look at analytics, but that should not be the deciding factor of your decision. It should inform you as you allow God to lead you and speak to you about what you're looking at. Because if numbers is the thing that drives your decision, then you're not being led by Holy Spirit. Because sometimes the wisdom of God is not going to make sense to natural people. And I would say almost all the time. And so you have to be in alignment. You have to be led and not driven. And being led allows God to speak to us about our assignment, because we have to be clear on not only what he has said, but also what he is presently saying. Because we heard God say something, which God is moving in a direction, but now we need to have that right posture to hear what is he presently saying. And that makes the difference between us shifting at the right moment or staying into something that we are not supposed to be in. And then one last thing about alignment is this. To be in alignment with your assignment, you have to know your gifting that God has placed in you as a leader. And you must know, and once you know your gifting, you got to develop and sharpen it. You cannot be in alignment without really knowing your gifts and sharpening them, because operating in your gifts as a leader, as a business owner, is a necessity. It's what sets you apart. Because in school, because I went to business school and they were teaching me marketing. Oh, you got to do that type of marketing that sets you apart. Either you're going to use a low cost strategy or a value-based strategy, or all of these things to set your brand apart. What really sets you apart as a kingdom leader and a kingdom business owner is your gifting and the exercising of that gift. So while people are doing research, all you have to do is a little bit of self-discovery with Jesus. And so I want to end the video portion there. Thank you guys so much for watching and for being a part of this video podcast. Again, this is the Igniting Champion Leaders live. And so join me, every time that we go live. I go live pretty frequently, and so you'll check me out. Now, here's the thing. Remember to comment, like, share, and save this video with anyone who's watching with anyone that this will be a blessing to. But also, if you are looking for mentorship, because what we're talking about, having the correct posture, being committed, and getting into alignment, all of these concepts are designed to help you operate to your fullest potential as a leader, whether it's as a business leader or as a church leader or in the school setting, whatever your assignment is. And so I want to offer you the opportunity to connect with me so that you can find out, so you can get mentorship, so you can operate in your gifting, so you can have the right posture, and you can reaffirm your commitment to your assignment, and most of all, be successful in it. Why take on a leadership position to just go with the flow and to keep things as they are and never take it to the next level and never really demonstrate the kingdom of God in your leadership position? And I'm not talking about leading in the church, because God has called you to lead. You lead in the place he's called you to lead. And so you'll see the address on your screen. Get at me. We will get a session, and I can hear more about your needs and your specific area of assignment and provide mentorship to you to walk out your purpose and destiny and to fulfill your leadership assignment while operating in your God-given gifts. All right. So thank you so much for watching. We will catch you next time. Remember to be successful and lead like a champion. Bye-bye.